Hey guys, Zelonius here. Welcome to another video on the channel. In today's video, we are talking about something very important. We are talking about camera and controller settings. Now, for some of you guys, you might be thinking you've talked about these before, Zel, or they're fairly obvious. Well, I've played quite a few weekend leagues for people over the last few weeks, and I always change the settings to what I'm used to. Obviously, there are some settings that are preference. There's some settings that it doesn't, there's particular camera settings where it doesn't matter too much. It's just finding something that you're comfortable with. But there are some settings where there is only one good viable option. And it has amazed me the amount of people when I look at the settings, how many of them have the wrong settings on. You do not want to fall in this trap. Settings should be the easiest thing to sort out. Trust me, I know that there are times when EA's settings have changed this year and stuff. It was really annoying, but I think they fixed that at this point. So watch this video now. Check your settings just in case you have the wrong ones on. Because if you have the wrong ones on, it could be severely hindering your gameplay and you don't even realize it. So in this video, I'm going to go through all the settings and give you guys the right ones that you should be using. If it is one where I think that it's preference, I will tell you my preference and explain why. If it's one where I think it's just there's only one option, I will tell you why too. So you go to, from the home menu, the cog wheel, customize, settings, customize controls. We will look at game settings afterwards. That is more where the camera stuff is. So a lot of people, it will say competitive master switch off. I have it on. If you ever play against the computer offline and it's off, none of these will be a thing. For me, you want it on because you want to play how you're going to play online. And the competitive master switch, as it says there, is always enabled in online competitive game modes. Through past assistance, this is set to semi. You do not want it on manual. Ultimately, I think the skill gap would be bigger on FIFA if a lot more things were semi or manual. But whilst you get assistance from the game, it's going to help you. You should use it unless you really want to hinder yourself, which why would you? So semi is the one. FIFA trainer. If you're a complete beginner, like I'm talking, you've barely just picked up the game, maybe you want this on. But if not, you want it on high. You don't want it off-putting. Timed finishing. I definitely had this on and it looks like it's switched off. Maybe that's bugged out and switched off at some point. I did wonder why one day my shots weren't timing. Time finishing, if you're a good player who knows how to time shots well, is definitely something you want on. So, like I say, it's always worth checking your settings because I'm certain I've scored goals recently with it on. And for some reason that seems to have turned off. So when I've gone to this video, I found out that. If you're not very good at time finishing though, you're trying to learn more of the basics, have it off. Next player switch indicator. A lot of people actually have this off. For me, it's pretty vital to have it on. Simply put, you can see who you are going to switch to when you press L1. It also allows you to see who you're going to second man press with, which is important in my opinion. The more knowledge, the better. Pass, block assistance. See, some of these are different. Like the auto switch and move assistance, I definitely had it on none. So I don't know if some of these have changed and maybe that bug with the settings still is a thing. Are you sick of getting out-teamed on FIFA? Want more coins to build that God squad you've always been dreaming of? Check out utnice.com, the best place to buy coins for FIFA 23. They're simple, easy to use. Use code ZEL at checkout for a 5% discount. Check out utnice.com today. So check these. Maybe I've been hindering myself recently because I thought they'd fix the bug. Pass block assistance. I would always have it on. Means the AI is more likely to make blocks for you. Why not? Auto switching on air balls and loose balls is the best one for me. Simply put, when the ball's in the air or from a loose ball, you are not going to be able to quickly move to the right man. So air balls, it works pretty well. Manual, definitely wouldn't do that. Loose balls or air balls or automatic. Automatic's the worst, but I would always have it on air balls, loose balls. I have auto switching move assistance on none. Simply put, when it's on none, it gives you more control. High is very bad. Again, clearance assistance. These can't be right. I had player lock on 100%. I've been using it. Clearance assistance you should have on directional. I have no idea why these have changed randomly. Like I said, good that we're doing it. Clearance assistant, I have it on directional. It means when I clear, it's more like to go where I am. Player lock, if you don't use it, I wouldn't have it on, but I use it, so I have it on. It's more of a high level thing though. Icon switching, I would have it off. I think it's buggy and doesn't work very well. Right stick switching, classic, player rotation, adaptive. The adaptive was what they added this year. I don't know if they fixed it, but for me it was laggy and didn't work properly, so I turned it off because of that. Classic's what I'm used to and think works well. Player relative or ball relative, it always was player relative. I stuck to that. Ball relative was a newer one, but for me that doesn't seem very good. Also, the ball can move a lot. The players aren't moving as fast, so I think player relative's easy. Now, all of these, where they're assisted or semi, I would have whichever the most assisted is. It shouldn't be this way, but for me, the game is very assisted, and whilst it is, you are better taking advantage of that. Still, I don't get why some of these were not. I'm going to go out and go back in and see. I'm confusing myself that some of these had changed. So they're still proper now. And the next thing is game settings. There's a few things in here. So the match, there's nothing in here. Camera, I use tele-broadcast default. I don't change anything. You might want to mess around with the zoom or height just to get a setting that feels perfect for you. You will want to know in certain stadiums the cameras will look different. The only two options really I would recommend would be tele-broadcast or co-op. I've even seen some people using the... I'm on an old gen here, so it doesn't show, but there is a game cam. That's a new gen one. I've seen some people using that. I would never in a million years use that. You don't even, it's like a diagonal. It's not even the proper angle, so definitely don't do that. For me, though, telebroadcast default is what works well for me. Visual. Player name and indicator. That is what I have on. It's definitely changed my settings because I don't even know why, because I 100% had player name and indicator on. Because that's the name above the head. I like having the player name and indicator on because it allows me to see the name of the player. I've seen people do things where they have like the PlayStation name above. I think the player name and indicator so you can see the right players much better. You can change the settings. I would rather have it on large, makes it easier to see quickly. Another one that I think is worth having, score clock drop down off. Having this off is good because at times things drop down from under the scoreboard that you're not going to realise when they're about to happen, and it can literally block your screen, so why would you want that? It ruins a little bit of the graphical immersion, but it's not going to help you in game, so for me, I would never use that. A lot of these other stuff, they're very minor. A lot of them are offline settings as well. There is one last thing in Ultimate Team that I am going to show you. Okay, so we're in Ultimate Team now. It's in Under Club. In the settings, you can change this. You can go to your matchmaking settings. I have crossplay enabled because I'm mostly playing old gen now. When I play old gen, it allows me to play PS4 and Xbox players. However, if you're a new gen, you might want to turn this off because I don't know if they fixed the hacking. I've heard even people tell me that you can't even play PC players now because of that. There's lots of hacks and glitches from PC players that I eventually started turning it off just to make sure that would never happen to me. Hopefully this settings video has helped you out. Make sure you go check them like with me. My settings were definitely not some of them what I wanted. Some of them were changed. It's worth checking. I'd say it might even sound picky, but every time you log on just to make sure, because it's important to have the right ones. Hope this video has helped you out. As always, appreciate you guys. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Catch you guys later. Peace.